All right, we're making a tier list with all of these units, ranking for towers from 1 to 60, which is essentially the only really difficult content. Now, this can also be used for EX stages, so if you're trying to see what units are good, I mean, obviously, they're a bit more niche in that sense, especially moving forward with the Shibuya ones. But mainly, we are ranking tower. Okay, these are all the units, and we're ranking until Sukuna comes out, which he should come out May 30th. So this is the anniversary tier list update. Now, besides just the new units, there's also units, because this was the previous ranking. For example, a unit like Junpei will be valued higher. So we're going to kind of go off of this basis, okay, and start ranking with a couple units a bit higher ranked. And that's kind of it. That is kind of it. So one thing I do want to say is I started using the Pridewid tiering. So essentially, I did put the actual value of the tier next to it because I think that some people are just they need to have it still. But I'm considering tier 0 and tier 0.5 the apex characters. So they are the cream of the crop. They'll make clearing content a breeze, some of the best damage in the game, or the best buffs. That's basically how it's going to be considered. Now, meta is still going to be 1, and then in our case, it's just going to be 1. Okay, so 1 are still going to be very good units, but units maybe with a couple more flaws is how I see it, or more investment needed. Now, tier 2 and tier 3 is niche. Now, we have a niche role, but this is niche good roles, and this is niche you're kind of meh. You shouldn't really be using these characters in, even A, due to the fact that we have S+. Actually, now we have to keep it. The problem is, especially for JP, there's so many good units, almost no one falls into these categories, but on global it's a bit different because we haven't got the buffs. So what do I mean by the buffs? Well, essentially, on JP, right, and we are counting the end of Sukuna, right? These buffs, the SP buffs where unit skills are changed, come after Sukuna, okay? So this is not something we're considering. We're not considering buffed Yuji with the SP buffs, with the skills buffed. We're not considering Jogo with the SP buffs. We're only considering the natural buffs that were added to the kit just immediately, okay? Just want to make sure that's understood. So remember, it's not ranked in order of the tiers. If anyone says that, you're banned, okay? You're banned. I'm telling you, you're getting muted. So yeah, it's not ranked in order, only tower 1 to 60, and this does change a couple of good things. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the lower tiers and work our way up. So as of right now, I would definitely say Maki still is missing stuff. The SP buffs are going to make her better, but Red Maki, nah, not my unit, not my unit. If I could find the girl, where is she? Red Maki is found her. So we're going to put Red Maki, and beside her, we're going to put Yellow Mechamaru. So we're going to go through every single unit since it's anniversary. I want to give a quick refresh for new players. Maki is kind of doing decent-ish damage, needs more people to be alive to get a bigger damage increase, but she's not going to be the best damage-wise. Now, Mechamaru has a counter. The problem is he does not have a taunt yet, so all his damage and everything he's doing is just not worth it yet. Now, same with Saki. Saki also, she's not that good. She needed one thing in particular, and that was the taunt that she got with her buff, but we do not count those buffs, so Saki is not going to be that good because she cannot really get high damage. She's not really needed for surviving, so it's just not really something I value at all from a unit. Now, next up, Green Nanami. Damage-wise, he's not the... fuck, I kind of want to put him in S. Nah, I mean, listen, the thing is, his damage is good for some of the lower floors, but has kind of little purpose in the higher floors for green. So we could definitely keep him. And this is with Dwayne Gojo, obviously, too. But I'm totally fine. There are too many units, guys. My eyes do not work right now. So Nanami's going to be an A, which is respectable. Okay, he does some AoE damage, has good break, but besides that, once again, I think his buffs make him a bit better. But even right now, it's a bit too much RNG, so I'm not fucking with him. Now, Kamo did get some decent buffs, but actually slightly worse than I thought because you can only have one special Jujutsu up at a time. So all of this is only once. Where is it? Sorry, not this one. Does he not have the damage special? So he only gets this once, so you got to keep that in mind. Now, he has some decent buffs. I think he is missing a little bit. Now, his ult is quite strong. You could do some damage. If you argue him in S, I'm not even going to argue against it. I just think the one thing for me is his survival capabilities are actually like decent-ish because of the damage reduction, but it's the turn count that takes him to like really get to a solid place because you need to have the like you need to buff him for like 4 turns. So that's the thing. He only gets like 2 really good attacks, one being this, and then like you could kind of do this, but it's AoE, right? So he has one big hit, and one big hit is going to start being valued less and less and less, especially when Sukuna has literally like 5 turns of him doing damage comparable to what Kamo would do. Now, Blue Nanami also is kind of meh. Like, his damage is not that good. The problem is he relies on buffs. The thing is, you only want one buffer because or else it's not multiplicative. So this is really just not that big of an increase. Like, in total, it's 60% for twice. Like, it's not that high, and then his ult damage is very low, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. So Blue Nanami is not really high on my radar. Now Toto is going to go in this slot, wherever Toto is. So he has some damage reduction and is able to do some single target damage, but he does need, Blue Toto does need his buffs. If I could, I am so sorry, everyone. It's bad. My eyes are actually horrible right now. So let me close Pride One in this. We don't need it. So Blue Toto right now does not have the SP buffs, but he does have the other set of buffs, and it's pretty decent. I mean, listen, he is able to get some damage reduction, heal, and well, that's in either of the states, and he gets extra taijutsu stat. So now we finally get some taijutsu to help him with this. He's going to be able to also get 2 extra Takata chance, so his ult is going to do some damage, and I do value the single target damage, right? It is pretty decent. Even this 360%, right, is not bad, and he gets some damage increase, right? I do like the confused status also is pretty good. So it's like overall he's decent. I think that very soon he's gonna probably go into S, but not right now. Now, my boy himself is also gonna be in the A tier. Ijichi. So he has some buffs. He could get Vault Gauge. He's decent. Not really that crazy because there's not many good taijutsus, at least at the moment. So it's like, it's whatever. Now, I think we're done on... okay, so Jogo, as of right now, I'm considering him an A. But when he gets his next set of buffs, he'd go to S. And then afterwards, he'd go to SS, right? Now, the thing is that I argue is that he proves his value the most in the most recent content. So while he is not like that far off his max potential, we are missing the content for him to really prove himself in, being the new tower floors and also being the sweep. Now, the main reasons is it's more single target. Also, every unit you want to damage, it's very different floors. Now, sweep especially, it's all single target. So a skill 3, where it's 3 random enemies, will all be on one enemy. So it's going to be a lot better for him, where if there was sweep right away, I'd put him into S at least, but there isn't. So he's missing 2 sets of buffs on global, which is why he's an A, with the potential to go to S already if sweep was out, if I was counting sweep, and then with his buffs and everything, he'd go to S+, and then with the second set of buffs, he'd go SS. So it's like he's able to climb the ranks. Now then, for niche roles, I'm not really going to explain, but we're just going to put him. Hanami, very good for stalling. GG. All right. Now then, Red Panda, able to taunt, damage reduction, can taunt, damage reduction, okay. Now we got Blue Miwa, who could also do her counter shit. Same with Red Miwa, okay. Shoko could heal. Then we got Red Toto, who could do the confused status alongside of Saki. So Saki's able to do the taunts. Taunt every turn alongside Red Toto confusion. Allows you to get a different type of stall team in. And then afterwards, we've got Green Kaido. So I consider him a niche because he can work very well in certain things. And I don't really know where to rank him necessarily. Green Panda. And then we've got Miguel. So Miguel is one of the new units. And we're going to talk about him since he is new. And essentially, he's got some... yeah, he's okay. So his main thing is that he's able to lower the value of buffs, which is going to be very good for floor 52. And here you lower it by 50%. So that's going to be great, but there's not many floors you could do that in. So he's kind of ass. He nullifies attack null. He does pretty shitty damage if we're completely honest with each other. Is that not like 900% and 200, right? It's pretty ass because you could only use this. No, you could use this every turn. Never mind. You could only get this twice, which is so ass. Like, his damage is ass. He's kind of trying to do everything and nothing at once. But he has one specific use, which is unfortunate. Now, this Kaido actually will get better over time, but right now he's in S. He's in tier 1. Okay, now why he's in tier 1 is because his damage increases aren't really that worthful. He doesn't really give much cursed energy, and his damage reduction isn't necessarily needed all that much right now. He's still decent, which is why he's in tier 1. Like, that's a meta character, but he needs the newer floors, like 61 to 80 to really excel in. And why I'm saying that is because of the fact that in those floors, well, essentially, he applies damage reduction, like he lowers the enemy's damage and damage reduces you. So, well, makes you get damage reduction. So essentially, even if it's a buff nerf or a debuff nerf, you're still going to get the damage lower, which is very valuable. So that's why he gets better over time. Now, Maki can do some damage, but overall, it's like kind of missing a bit. She doesn't really have any buffs, so she's able to do pretty consistent damage. So I do find her pretty decent overall. So she's able to do damage while buffing, which I think are the best types of units. The thing is, like, this is only a one-time thing, and like you get this, but it's like very small buffs to yourself that kind of do add up, but I'm not the biggest fan of her damage. So there she is. Green Yuji does not have his SP buff, but still is able to do good stuff. Can Black Flash could help you for 55. And his damage is not that bad, but very soon it's going to excel, right? Now, Red Nanami, SR Nanami, if he's actually able to do decent-ish buffs. Now, the thing is with Nanami is that it's pretty mediocre overall, and it's not really that worth it with the way that buffs work. You only want one damage buffer or one damage debuffer, and he is not really the most worth it. Now, he can do damage if you need red floors, but once again, his value is only going to go up to like maybe S plus later on, right? That's the thing. They managed to make a lot of units worth it later on, but as of right now, it's not necessarily the case. Now, Blue Gojo should not be there. Sorry, I think this was a JP ranking. Hold on, he should not be there. My bad, guys. Not Blue Gojo. Yellow Nobara. So Yellow, do we want to put her a bit higher? I kind of want to put her a bit higher. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so we're going to go to Blue Maki. So Blue Maki's pretty good, has a couple good floors. I think it was 48 or 47 that she's able to work in. And that's kind of it. I mean, she does taijutsu damage pretty well. She breaks, bada bing, bada boom. Now, he's also pretty good. Blue Megami did get a pretty decent buff, where now he gets, I'm pretty sure he has the alt gauge part. So now he's going to get extra alt gauge, which is kind of what he needed, and also extra damage when the enemy's in break. It's pretty good. Like, his alt is going to do decent-ish, and I do fuck with him. Like, you don't even need him in his SP boosted form for him to be pretty good. Now, Momo with self buffers is very good because she does very similar stuff to Red Nanami, except in 2 turns, and her alt is way better in terms of utility. Now, Red Nobara is missing that little oomph, okay? So the oomph that she's missing is being able to really spam her skill 3, because as of right now, it still costs 50 for everything, but she also gets a damage increase with her buff, so she's going to be very good very soon. But for right now, she's an S, also because her best game mode is sweep, but guess what? Yep, you're right. There's no sweep, right? We're not counting sweep, so that's what I want to say. Now then, we're going to also include Blue Yuji. So Blue Yuji is able to get his reses off, which can be useful, and his damage is pretty good when he attacks the same target. So overall, we're going to keep him in there. He's probably going to stay there for the future. I had a lot of people argue that he was good, so I'm like, why not? We'll just put him there, is what it is, and there we go. So next up, we're going to get to S+. Starting off, we got Kaido. Now, Kaido is going to get a lot of value later. As of right now, he is very good for Cursed Energy, and also giving the Jujutsu ult way better than the SSR Kaido. I would definitely say he is very good, but once again, his best game mode by far is sweep, okay? By far, not even kidding, right? Now, Red Yuji's damage is fucking phenomenal. Works very well on many red floors, is a very good unit. So yeah, overall, I would say he's very good. You just are able to keep on doing damage while he gets buffs, and then his ult does very good damage and keeps on applying the debuff, so even after, you're able to do very high damage with my boy. So I honestly am very tempted to revisit him. I genuinely like his kit a lot. I'm just waiting for an SP buff. I really want him to get an SP buff. Out of any unit, he is the unit I want the most to get an SP buff. Now, Blue Momo has fallen off in my head since I've previously done tier lists a while ago. Momo is pretty decent, can apply her buffs quick, but her damage increase is not really that crazy when you compare it to other units, especially because damage increase and damage debuffs are not multiplicative, they're additive comparative to everything else. So the additive aspect means that like Degumi's 300% is way better than Momo's 120%, right? So it's okay. Her ult is pretty decent, which is why she's there. And she has the dodges, so as a support, she has more survivability, which is the kind of edge that she has. Now, Blue Inumaki, very good damage, very consistent damage. As of right now, is very good. Blue Ghetto for right now does have more value than Inumaki, I would say, due to the fact that Sweep isn't out. But when Sweep is out, Inumaki could probably even go up to SS. Like, I would entertain the idea of him being SS, which is pretty crazy. So yeah. Now I will say I completely forgot to put this unit lower. He's going in A. So Inumaki is not really that good right now because there's not many floors where you need the revives, but later in the future, Inumaki will be good. So just stay tuned for that. Now then, Red Mai, very good damage increases, can do comparative damage increases to someone like Degumi and Domain Gojo. However, she does not have the survivability. She does not have other utility. She does not damage lower at the same time. And also, she herself cannot survive that long. So it's like, yeah, she's good. But if she gets caught, she gets caught. That's the main thing. Now, Junpei actually is fucking phenomenal now. Junpei is going to be very, very, very good. He damage lowers and just does a lot of fun stuff. So it's great. He has damage reduction for the team attack community with a taunt. And then his skill 1 Jujutsu damage lower. So he's able to be very good now and in the future. Very good for stall. Very good for 53. I think it is very, very good. Now Nobara does get some pretty decent value. Like she's good in 53. Could do very good damage. So we're just going to keep her there. She wants debuffs, which is the one thing she's very selfish with. But besides that, she is pretty good. Now Nanami has a lot of versatility, so we're going to put him in S+. His damage is pretty decent, and he has Yellow Yaga that he's able to kind of go well with, so that's why he's going to be in S+. Now, we're going to get into SS, all right? So we're just going to pop a couple, and I forgot Nobara. She's going to go in S+. Her damage is very high, and it's only going to get higher from here. I think she is very good. She's probably on the lower end of S+, but still, she is definitely there. Her damage is pretty fucking good, if we're being completely honest with each other. Now, SS. Degumi, very good, able to give the highest damage increase in the game and still damage lower while also making sure he himself cannot die and also he himself can do damage when type advantage. Gakuganji, very good, only stat AoE debuffer in the game, which is insane to think about, right? Very crazy because he's a stat debuffer, single target, stat debuffer, single target. Anyone else? Stat debuff for single target, stat debuff for single target, stat debuff for single target. Where was a stat debuff for single target? So there you go. Very good unit, and his damage increases while being a stat debuffer are very good because stat debuffs are multiplicative versus stat buffs, and are multiplicative versus damage increase, both buff and debuff, because those two are additive against each other. So there we go. Now then, next up, Toji, very good for 52, just does a lot of damage. I would say currently probably better than Yuta because we don't really need the heals from Yuta, but Yuta is also fucking phenomenal. So if you say Yuta higher than Toji, you could definitely say that. I would argue that on JP, but not on Global yet. But yeah, no, Yuta is very good, so we'll also put him there. Very high nuke damage. Only problem is his ult cooldown, but that doesn't really matter anymore. Now Yuta's heals make him extremely valuable for sure. Hollow Purple is still staying there because he's got this one-tap nuke that still nukes. Basically, just get his nuke off with Pride, double stack, and then GG, you win. Right? That's kind of it. Yellow Yaga, the best. Like the second best, third. Well, besides damage increasers, the best supporter damage increaser in the game. As a supporter debuffer, I should say debuffer, he is literally just the best, right, for stat debuffs. But he is, of course, only on yellow, but he can do a lot of damage, right? Now then, Red Yaga, very good buffer. I mean, 4-turn buffs. There's no one else that really stat buffs, right? It's kind of crazy to think about. No one only stat buffs, right? That's the thing. Like, wow, yeah, no, they really made sure SR Yaga would stay fucking good until Shoko, and even then, Red Yaga is still very good because Shoko's on a mono, right? So that's the thing. Tinjo, very good damage, very, very good. He is gonna be, well, he is basically power crept. He is kind of gapped by Zonji, but still, Tinjo is on the higher end of SS, very high damage. He could taunt, he has attack immunity, doesn't leave the battle, and does very good nuke damage. So G. Ready Numaki, good for ult gauge, superb, right? Superb. His ult gauge increase with the damage reduction is good on so many different team comps that he warrants the SS. Zonji, also very good, right? Zonji's able to get the black flashes and have 3 turns of insane damage. Okay, he could do upwards easily of 50 million in those 3 turns. And it's very good because you do 2 attacks per turn, which means you could change who you're attacking, which I do quite like. Ghetto, the best stat buffer sorry, the best universal stat debuffer in the game, single target. He's also able to do pretty decent sub DPS damage. Not as insane as Blue Inumaki, but still very good, okay? And he's also able to Taijutsu lower, which Blue Inumaki does not have. The Taijutsu lower is so clutch because if you do manage to get it off, the enemy cannot damage you. You literally cannot die, which is so good. Green Megumi actually gets his SS spot now that Domain Gojo's out because he could not be ran with Degumi, which made him a lot less valuable, but with Domain Gojo now, Green Megumi is able to get a lot more value in the damage increases that Domain Gojo is bringing, which is absolutely clutch. So big W's for Green Megumi. We love to see it. Now then, Mahito is still very good. He's universal, can work everywhere. So there's literally no reason for him not to be SS until the next JP update, unfortunately. And then we've got Green Ghetto. Very good sub DPS, very good stat debuffer. We just love to see the boy. Okay, he's going to be very good. Is very good, will be very good, and does good damage. GG. Blue Gojo, still very good. He could run double pride and just nuke, like, since he's able to work in all the content, like, sure, he might be a bit worse than some of the other units, but he still is very good, cannot die for the turns he's out, and is just overall very good. And then, what do you know? Boom. There you go. Domain Gojo Sukuna. So Sukuna, best damage in the game, okay? Like, literally gaps everyone else in terms of damage. He does the most damage on his ult, right? Because in total with the bleed, it's upwards of like 2,500, right? And then his skill 3 damage, which he could do twice, right? Well, technically even 3 times, but twice in like a domain setting. Like, his damage is too good. He works type neutral, which gives him that like complete gap from the game. And it's like, there's nothing better. Like, he literally heals himself every turn when he gets hit. Well, he has the chance to, very high chance, to heal himself for 6,500 every turn, which is very good, right? Very, very good. Is resistant to, like, everything. Cannot be stunned, right? And then, I mean, listen. His damage is just that good, guys, okay? We understand it. Let's move on to Domain Gojo, who is universal. Why does he work so well? Well, essentially, for red, he is literally just like gapping. Like, if we consider red, it would be this. Like, if we consider him on red, he's there, okay? Like, that's how good he would be, right? That's literally how good he would be on red, right? That's the thing. But we're considering him overall, and overall, he is the pinnacle of this game, right? He is the best unit in the game. And why? 300% damage increase when you ult when he has 6 turns left before he leaves. He gets 2 stun, like AoE 2 stun, 2 turn stun. He makes it so that they lose 2 ult gauge, I think. 1 or 2, I think it's 1. And then for 4 turns, they cannot increase ult gauge. Then also there's a chance they don't take action for 4 turns, guys. It's insane. Like, 4 turn, AoE, 300% damage increase, 2 turn stun, ult gauge for 5 turns. You can't ult, like, they're not ulting for another 5 turns. Like, he's insane. But then, why not make it so his skill 2 damage lowers, AoE, and then also when he's type advantage, he could use his skill 3. And then the skill 3 is going to be insane because it's a 700% damage, which is very close to Blue Gojo's fucking ult amount of 1,000. That also increases Jujutsu stat by 45 every time you use it for 3 turns. And then when he's in his ult, his skill 1 is still able to pop out a couple millions easily. And he himself is the best sub DPS, right, for red. It's insane. So yeah, that's basically the full tier list. Remember, not ranked in order. Not ranked in order in the tiers. Tower 1 to 60 only. All right, we're good. Yes, there we go. This is the tier list. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with certain things? Do you disagree with others? Let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.